Hello, everyone.
And welcome to a day that ends in a Y.
And probably starts with a T. As you can see, we are reporting live from not our filming YouTube Poshmark room. We are actually at the Mall of America right now. So we just pulled in to the Mall of America right after we just got done filming the 2025 spring trend report that you guys just saw sometime last week.
Yes.
And that is because we are going to be hunting in the Mall of America for all of the trends that we covered to prove to you guys that we weren't just making this up. We weren't just fibbing. We weren't just dreaming, imagining, and creating. We actually studied this stuff. This should be all the trends that are actually in real life out on the streets. Of course, the Mall of America has all kinds of on-trend stores like Nordstrom. We got Free People. We got Anthropologie. We got J. Crew. We got Madewell, Aritzia.
All the places.
Urban Outfitters, Abercrombie Fitch. We got literally almost everything in here. So we will be hitting up all kinds of different stores and looking for all kinds of different trends. So quickly, to remind you of some of the trends that we saw in the sections that I went over, there were all kinds of coats and jackets. Like trench coats are really in, sporty kind of 80s inspired but more minimalistically colored athletic jackets. We had all kinds of kind of like halter tops and vests. There was a lot of feminine kind of suiting, feminine blazers with some squared necks, scoop necks, and the dresses also had a lot of almost like haltered tops with separate looking skirting to it. Mainly it was a lot of fitted tops and flared sort of bottoms. Another thing I saw a lot of in my sections was single colors. There was not much for prints in the trends.
Mine was a lot of simple, classic, timeless things. We had some barrel leg jeans and some fun little Y2K inspired shoes.
There was also wide leg jeans, straight leg jeans.
Timeless. I think wide leg jeans belong on everybody in any time period.
A lot of dark wash when it came to the jeans. Of course, there was like white jeans because it's spring and like white linen pants and stuff like that. There were also car coats and trucker coats were still really, really in. A lot of like intimate inspired stuff. So think like slip dresses, slip tanks, camis, lace trims and stuff like that. And then some dad shoes and some loafers. We'll remind you as we go. But if you missed it, it went up last week. You can really fill yourself in on all of this stuff. But we are going to pop in. We're going to start off with Nordstrom, and then we'll see kind of where the stylish breezes blow us.
Where the evening takes me.
Yes.
It
may be snowing out right now, but we're just going to pretend, okay? We got florals on. We got a nice blue, springy...
It's the same shirt that I wore the other day. So when we filmed the video, but this is a blue one.
So we're just going to pretend. Once we're inside, we can't see the snow. As you can see, Ryan had his trendy loafers on along with his cuffed jeans, so he's very on trend right now. So we went to the shoes first, and there were so many of the kind of smaller, tighter sneakers, as I call them. These really remind me of kind of the later Y2K shoes, or honestly early 2010s shoes, but I kid you not, every single brand had these. I just feel like these have been dated for so long that it's just so interesting to see them in a retail place again. A lot of the kitten thong sandals were here as well, and these slingback kitten pumps. These have been in since the fall, but they definitely are still all over the place at Nordstrom. The ballet flats and Mary Jane accents were all over the place as well, which we also have seen since the fall. Here was a penny loafer. As we said, the kind of dad shoes and penny loafers are really in right now. In the Chloe section, they had some of the tighter, smaller sneakers too. Totem had basically every single trend. So here's the slingback kitten heel pump. Ryan was checking himself out in the giant Nordstrom mirror. They also had kind of the almond-shaped loafer in a couple different materials and styles. Here was another skinnier sneaker from them, and they also had a kitten heel thong sandal. Valentino also had the slingback kitten pumps. Theirs even had bows, which are kind of a micro trend right now.
Hello everybody, welcome to the spring R&D. Right out of the gate, we have all these like really trendy little sporty sneakers. If those green Adidas were in my size, I would buy them. Adidas, no surprise, kind of cornered the market when it comes to these little sneakers. Reebok had a ton. Sam Edelman had kind of like what I would more attribute with this like netting on the side for some reason. Again, smaller sneakers, really cute little ballet flats, thonged little heeled sandals. One, I didn't know Reformation just had a collab with Nordstrom, which I thought was really cute, but these also were some really good examples of like a muled kitten heel. This is a really good example of a penny loafer. Again, these Stuart Weitzmans, if they had my size, I would 100% buy them. I love this tortoise, and they were quite expensive now. I was really honestly not surprised when I saw that Bruno Cucinelli made some of these sneakers. I don't know, like, I just feel like these are what I think of when I think of those smaller, sporty sneakers. Oh my gosh, they were so expensive. I literally forgot they were $1,100. Anyway, like an older demographic, and it's interesting to see how the style kind of changes from demographic to demographic. I think these Valentinos are another really good example of the kind of like sleeker, thinner, athletic running shoe kind of a situation. I really liked these. I know the jury's going to be out on the laced like sneaker situation, but I loved those. These Valentinos were just adorable. I just loved them. I have known that the Chloe Paddington style bags have definitely kind of come full circle, come back into style. I thought these little baguette bags were adorable. They also had a lot of the kind of like what I would consider like a work bag. There's another really good baguette, but just these like chunkier, kind of like larger tote work bags.
An employee was pretty close to us throughout the bag section, so we didn't get footage of many, but here's a barrel bag from Stella McCartney. So moving on to the clothing, there were some mannequins up in the front that had some very trendy dresses on. This was a semi-sheer white single-colored dress, which of course is very trendy right now. Acne Studios was basically only khaki and beige colors, which is really in for this spring. Again, very much a lack of color this spring for some reason. The same for the 11 items, which I actually had never heard of this brand, but apparently that's a high-end brand that we should all be keeping in mind. The Acris section also was quite colorless and full of beige and khaki. I honestly expected more from them. That seems kind of like their normal vibe, but they did have some trench coats and some pencil skirts. They had some quilted jackets. All of these were trends that we talked about last Thursday. The Lafayette 148 section had some feminine suiting. Again, that seems like a pretty natural, normal thing from this brand. And then there were some very dark wash jeans over on the St. John rack.
Reformation is definitely staying on trend this spring. I really loved this like light yellow looking like barn coat, and then they have this really adorable dress with this square neck. Sporty and Rich is definitely one of my personal favorite brands. I love their stuff. I think it's super cute. They had this really amazing, I think this is considered a barn coat. I think the car coat is a little bit longer, maybe? I have no idea. I'm just speculating. I was also head over heels in love with this Stella McCartney car barn coat, whichever one it is. The denim for this is amazing, and I loved that it had the little toggle on the front. Super cute. It was like $1,600, which I think is a lot for a denim coat, but it was beautiful nonetheless.
Right away in Abercrombie, I was noticing all of the dress trends. A lot of them were single colored and a lot of them were sleeveless. They also had the kind of corset tighter top with the flared, more flowy bottoms to them. They had them in a ton of different colors, mainly the pink and blues, which if any color's trending, it's those two right now. There also was a white one that was exactly the trends I had seen. Again, it was that corset top with a semi-sheer skirt that was more flowy and almost looked like a separate skirt. They had that idea in a couple different materials and colors, like this black and white one that has kind of a puffed balloon skirt to it. Don't mind the deodorant stains already on the dress. They also had some vests, which a lot of the vests were very in. It kind of fits in that feminine suiting, and the tie front to them makes them very feminine and dainty as well.
Abercrombie by far had what I would consider to be the most amount of trends in all these different varieties of styles. I really loved this kind of like pink version of these like fitted with these really poofy skirt dresses. Urban Outfitters, to no surprise, had every single barrel leg in every single color, but they definitely weren't like as marketed.
I bring a sort of experimental avant-garde jazz vibe to the party that my friends don't really appreciate. I love that Snoopy sweatshirt. Okay, so on to the trends. There were these barrel bags and baguette style bags in Urban. Some had bows. I can't say I'm surprised. They definitely are still leaning more towards the Y2K trends that have been continuing. They, of course, did have some straight wide leg jeans in darker or mid-dark wash. They did have some barrel leg jeans as well, and they also had the cut-off right above the knee shorts. So this is the first time I saw these today, definitely existing in the urban realm. This bag is so tiny. It is a baguette, but I don't know what I could fit in this. It is smaller than my hand. They also still had some of the Y2K trends of yesteryear, like the pleated micro skirt, so these are definitely still something good to pick up. They had some more of the longer shorts. I don't know if you guys can tell, but these are kind of right at the knee or right above the knee shorts again. And they had the striped rugby tops, which are very trendy this spring. Plus, you can't leave an Urban Outfitters without seeing a Mary Jane ballet flat.
I'm gonna get a keychain.
Should I show the turtle?
Yeah, where's that turtle? I'm about to look at him. Look at that boy. Yeah.
Free People had some of the longer shorts. These also have that kind of boxer short vibe that has been trendy lately as well. They also had some denim longer shorts, so these aren't just an Urban, they are also a Free People vibe. There were many different kinds and colors. They also had a kind of rugby type polo shirt. There were so many barrel leg jeans. Obviously the boho crowd kind of likes this trend the most, or I guess it's the most prominent there because they had so many in so many different colors. They also had these white jeans with this lace layer to it. I don't really know if this fits a trend. I did say sheer skirts were in, but this is an interesting take.
I also had a very big sneaky suspicion that the kind of Y2K influence would be very predominant in these little basic tank tops. These are at Free People. This is what I was talking about, where you would like layer them. They had them in a ton of different colors. They had a ton of different ones like with all these little buttons. They had every single little dainty tank top you could ever hope for. I just thought that this was so funny that I was kind of in the exact same jeans as the Free People mannequin.
Just looking at the Madewell window display, I could tell we were going to find a lot of trends in here. There were Mary Jane ballet flats. There were wide white trouser sort of pants. There were vests in the style that is trendy right now, of course, in white, and maxi cotton slightly pleated skirts and round plastic sunglasses.
I will also say I kind of expected this one as well. This is at Madewell, and these are just all of these beautiful, simple, solid color belts. They all had really neutral buckles. I especially loved the little dot one. Madewell also had its fair share of the vests. The vests were everywhere. There was a ton. These really cute little square neckline tops were really cute and everywhere as well. I really genuinely kid you not when I say that Madewell probably had this exact vest in 12 to 15 different colors. It was insane. But just to highlight my point, here she is again at an opposite end of the store in white. I honestly really liked this take of the kind of like fitted on top with these really flowy skirts. The color was amazing, but I had also never seen one done with this kind of like shirring detail to it. It was really cute.
It's as if these trends were written by Madewell Corporation. Here's another of the trendier style vests with the many buttons. Here's another one. This one is denim. They just have this thing where they kind of split at the bottom and there's like 5 or 6 buttons to them. Finally seeing some of the jewelry trends. There's a lot of the boba kind of melty silver jewelry. Madewell had a ton of it. They also had some wide leg, darker wash jeans, kind of the baggy straight trend. They had some plastic square sunglasses and plastic round sunglasses, the looks that are very in right now, kind of an oval round versus a circle. They had some very dark wash jeans, which is another trend that's in. They also had the woven bags. This was something we talked about kind of at the end of the trend report, but this kind of smaller woven leather look that almost looks like raffia, but it is leather. That is so in right now. Here's another look at one of these split bottom vests. For Ryan, we took a pit stop at Crayola World, Crayola Land, whatever it's called. They had a whole wall of make your own pack of crayons, which would have been really fun to do. Ryan got a pencil holder, of course in green. Then he got a luggage tag in green, and he got a couple new crayon friends in green.
I do think it's really funny that I found these jeans at Aritzia and they looked so similar to the jeans that Jack was wearing. It was really quite funny. Jack found these two really amazing car coat barn coats. And if you remember my outfit from Free People, I would just like to say again how trendy I am, because look at the Aritzia mannequins. They look like me. I think this dress is a really good example of where two trends kind of collide. This is very Y2K to me, but also very like fitted with these flowier skirts.
Similar to Abercrombie, Aritzia was really full of the dress trends. Here was a kind of slip style single color dress, and here is once again that fitted top, puffy skirt look that we've seen all over the place. They even had the same style kind of as a tank top. They had some more simple belts, which is a big accessory trend right now. Aritzia had some of the thick stripe rugby shirts that we saw all over the place too. They had a couple different colors. I honestly am surprised Ryan didn't buy one of these. Aritzia, of course, had all kinds of denim trends as well. These were some wider leg, straight baggy jeans. They had them in a very dark wash as well. They also had some feminine suiting. Aritzia always has a decent amount of suiting, but I really liked, honestly, these pleated, kind of dressy looking shorts. They had some peplum tank tops with a squared neck. Is peplum going to be fully back soon? Who knows? Again, we were seeing the multi-button kind of split bottom vest jacket in some neutral creams and whites. So we trudged our way to Zara. I am never a big fan of going into Zara, but I saw in the window they did have these slim athletic sneakers that have been quite trendy this spring thus far. They also had a cropped kind of trench jacket. Again, trenches are really in all kinds of shapes and lengths this season. Warning! You're in a Zara. Leave now. This was kind of one of these sleeveless corset dresses. It was in denim. It felt really cheap, and you can tell by how warped the zipper is that it was. They also had the barrel bags. They are a total knockoff of Miu Miu. They're cute looking, but honestly, just go buy a different brand. This was kind of a take on the peplum vest top that we just saw at Aritzia. They had some white cotton, slightly pleated skirts. And they had some quilted, kind of fisherman-looking jackets, which are super in, as we were talking about.
I will say I am not surprised that Zara had these little like kitten flip-flop thong sandal situations, and then again with the vests, they are everywhere. They had every kind of kitten mule in every single color, in every single size, which is, good. But either way, again, here are those kind of like, these are also very Y2K to me too, those kind of like square-toed little sandals. We had all these solid color maxi dresses everywhere. We had, again, This one really reminded me of St. John with the material. Obviously wasn't nearly as nice, but they are everywhere. These two in particular, these like little kitten sandals and the vests, I think are going to be the ones that we will see all over the place this summer. And here is yet another edition of the small sporty sneakers. These definitely were the least favorite of the night, I would say. But I mean, I get the curb appeal. I get why they're cute. I am also not surprised that Zara had a little dainty tank top with too many buttons. This top is a really good example of something that I don't really think that we've seen a ton of tonight, and I thought we would 100% see more. It's these kind of like strapless, almost like suit jackets. I think they're kind of cute, and especially with like a light wash denim, I like them. And again with the vests, again with the buttons, these are everywhere.
Last but not least, we went to Anthropologie. Now, a warning, most of what you are about to see is not technically a spring trend, but we wanted to celebrate the things that we wish were in for spring. So they had these very graphic tote bags with beads all over and a strawberry graphic to them. So freaking cute. I love this lemon and orange t-shirt also. This was a trend, this Dolan kind of extra button vest. They had the cutest bag charms. Now, bag charms are actually a big trend right now. Ryan has about 1 trillion of them on his bag. So this is a trend. We just didn't really mention it much, but he loved the corn one, and I thought the broccoli one was really unique too. This is so cute. This does fit the trend of the kind of boxer-inspired shorts, but again, the graphics and prints and colors aren't really in right now. Same with this strawberry jersey and this really cute toile cat picnic pair of pants. These croissant pants were really cute too. This is the spring that I want. This is the spring that I wish was trendy right now. Look at how cute. But instead, we have this white and plain. These were so cute. I almost bought these pants for myself. They're like track pants with bows on the sides, and Ryan is getting this pair of map shorts for himself. These jeans were pretty trendy, being a darker wash, wide leg. And then in the clearance section, of all places, they had this fitted corset top, skirted dress from Beholden. And they had some boba silver jewelry.
Anthropologie, no surprise, had the plethora of beautiful woven bags. I do really like theirs, and I like that they're a little bit higher of a quality faux leather or real leather. This dress and the next dress that I'm about to show you are proof that florals for spring are definitely not out of the question. This is my broccoli key charm I bought. Say hello, everybody. But again, these really nice, bright, vibrant spring colors. And to end on a note of something that I just thought was beautiful, all of these Anthropologie bags. I am obsessed with all of them. All the beading is beautiful. I especially like the lemon and the tomato. Those are my favorite.
Okay, everyone, we are back at home now from the mall, and I think we had quite a successful little trend hunt. Obviously, some of the biggest trends of this season or this year's spring is the vests, which kind of goes with the whole feminine suiting thing. There's a lot of kind of like fitted suiting, fitted jacket wear going on, as we have very kind of like flowy, baggy bottoms. That even applies with the dresses. So obviously the trend is just like fitted tops, flowy bottoms, whether that be skirts, pants, jeans, whatever on the bottom. But the vests were definitely, I think, the biggest thing we saw. I also will say those kind of athletic, skinnier sneakers were a really, really big trend. The trends from the report that we maybe didn't see as much of or had kind of a harder time finding were definitely those kind of cut off at the knee Bermuda shorts. We definitely saw them at Urban, and I'm thinking those are going to be more of a trend with kind of the younger crowd, more of the like people that like to wear the Y2K stuff. they'll probably be wearing those Bermuda shorts. There was that one outfit at Urban Outfitters that I showed that was like a lace layered tank top with Bermuda shorts. That was really giving me 2010s. Like, I feel like I went to high school with that girl and middle school. So that was very, very early kind of 2010s in my opinion. Now, those fitted top and flowy skirt dresses were as in as I expected them to be. As we said in the trend report, everything is very single color. Besides at Anthro, we did not see the prints, the graphics, the whatever. As we said, Anthro was the spring that I wish we had. All those beaded bags that Ryan showed, the strawberry graphics, the fruit graphics, the like croissants, the breakfast food, the maps. That is the spring that I love. And from the comments on the actual trend report, it seems like a lot of you are kind of in the same boat as me. I'm not here for this whole like minimal whatever. Yes, I wear a lot of like black, but I'm just not here for all this like single color stuff. When I think spring, I think prints, I think fun, I think color, I think floral. It's not the spring I want, but you know what? We're not always given the trends that we want. And so all of us that want to live off trend, that is totally okay. Actually, this is something I got at Anthro. This was in the clearance room. I've been using it mainly as a sleep shirt, but I do really like the style anyways. It says Stardust and it has all these like star embellishments to it. This is not really a color or style that I would wear very often, but I do really like this shirt. Anyways, we did not remember that apparently our mall, like the Mall of America, lost its J. Crew maybe a year or two ago, but I think J. Crew would have just as heavily had the trends as Madewell. Being a more minimal, pared down type of season, I think just allows J. Crew and Madewell to kind of be like front of the pack. I mean, I guess Abercrombie is like a bit more minimum and like kind of preppy as well. So any of the preppy brands, preppy stores, that type of stuff are really gonna be probably popular this season. But I always find it so interesting to see which of the trends poke their head into what stores. Like how, look at the list of trends we found at Free People and compare it to the list of trends that we found at Aritzia, and it's totally different. Little Y2K tank tops with barrel leg jeans at Free People and the vests and like peplum tops of Aritzia. So that is all that we have for you guys today. I would have loved to have Ryan be in this outro with me, but he is at work right now and this video is supposed to be up today. But let us know what you thought. Did you enjoy the trend report and R&D as much as you guys have in the past? Are you like, cut it out, please stop this, all we want to see is the stuff you find at the bins? Let me know. But I am about to film a bins haul that's going up on Thursday, so I will be in the same outfit. But if you made it this far, please let me know by leaving all kinds of spring flower emojis all over. Let's fill the comment section with flowers to just add some floral into this minimal season that we are living in right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed. We had a blast as per usual. We love doing this video. It's like the two R&Ds are like the highlights of the year on YouTube for us. So that's all that we have for you guys today. I will catch you guys on Thursday for a really good bins haul. And then on Sunday with Ryan for a regular What Sold Sunday. So thank you for watching this far if you did. And we will see you when you choose to see us. Goodbye.